All right, so before we can go for a ride in this bad boy, I'm going to pull this battery out, take it up to Walmart, and see if we can get a new one or maybe a better one. So the only problem is that we kind of want to keep the same, configuration, same kind of dimensions. I don't really want to have to make new cables, but I do also have some new connectors that'll be here later today, but they probably won't be here till this evening. But basically, the connectors are going to be sweet. They've got kind of like a bicycle clamp, if you look at the front wheel of a bike, it's got that quick release connector. That way, there'll be no more having to get out the Allen head bolts and pull the stupid things off, because it seems like we're always taking the battery off. Or at least the cables off, for different reasons, to test on stuff or weld stuff or whatever. So, yeah, this is just a cheap Walmart battery. I think it's like 540 cold cranking. They do have a battery that looks similar that's 850 cold cranking, and it's only like $100. So it's got a 3-year warranty too. So I might try to buy that one if it'll kind of work. Or I can get a replacement of this one. It's like $55. This one, the only weird thing is we just bought it a year ago, but the battery is almost 2 years old. So the problem was when we went to Walmart last year, this was like the last one of this size that they had in stock, and we knew it was already a year old, right? So it sat on a shelf for a year. Who knows how that messed with it. So I'm thinking maybe that's why it's kind of going bad. So no big deal. Either $50 or $100, we'll get a new battery, bolt that baby back in, and then I am going to pull this thing out, try to take it for a ride today. It's beautiful out today. It's going to be a high of like 77, sunny. Tomorrow is going to be complete rain all day. So this is our only day to get it out. There is a local car show too, so if I can get it out and it runs fine, I'm going to try to cruise it up there. It's only maybe 8 miles away, so it won't be very far. So it'll be kind of a good test to see if we can get it over there. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm just getting back from Meijer. I ended up just getting the exact same 26R battery that we already had, mostly because the other battery that I thought we might get was freaking huge, way too big, and we don't really feel like changing our whole mounting location and all that stuff. So I just got a stock battery again, $55. It's going to be good enough. Who cares if it only lasts this year, right? I mean, should be fine. But this battery, instead of being 2 years old on the shelf, is literally from July of this year. So it's brand freaking new. So if we get a year out of it, 2 years out of it, I'm happy with that, especially since it's a simple plug and play. So I'm going to get this in. We're going to get the car spun around, and then we're going to try to take this thing for a drive. All right, we got our new battery in. We got the car turned around, so I'm just going to start it up and try to see if I can burp any more out of the system. I did pull the rad cap off and kind of let this drain, and then basically filled this up a little bit more, so it's about half filled here. So hopefully that got rid of some of the air in the system. Let's get the fans going. Oh, the other thing I did off camera was after I put the battery in, I did run just another jumper wire to the fan 2 relay. So remove that relay, put the jumper in. So now both fans are wired up and working. Figure, better safe than sorry. So yeah, let's see if it fires up with the new battery. Let the computer do its thing because it's been reset now. Hop out of here. So yeah, we'll just kind of let this run a little bit. I'll pop that cat back on. And we'll take her for a drive, guys. I got the tires all aired up, 40 PSI. And yeah, we'll take her for a little rip. I'll come back real quick, and then if everything's good, fingers crossed, we'll go for a little car show action. All right, so I just pulled into a little subdivision near my house, and so far we've only gone not even a mile probably, but the car seems a lot better. It's actually drivable. It's not going flat on its face. I'm just going really easy on it. Let me see if I can not get the camera. There we go. Yeah, we're driving through the neighborhood. It seems pretty good. A little subdivision cruising action. She is loud, boy, with no mufflers. Remember, we got that X pipe just going out to I don't think we have any kind of alternator charging. We're all the way down to 11.5, so I probably need to turn around just in case it gets too much lower. If we run out of voltage for the EFI to work, that won't be good. So I'm gonna go ahead and head back. We'll catch up in a sec. All right, guys, so just getting back from the first little cruise, and everything went pretty well as far as drivability goes. Car drove pretty well. Didn't seem like it was having any issues with power, so problem solved on that. That's great. Now, the issue I'm still seeing, though, is we're not getting, at least from what it looks like on the gauge, we're not getting any alternator charging, and we never had an issue with that before. So I'm not sure what's going on, if our alternator took a dump, which seems really weird because I think this motor only has like 13,000 miles on it. I guess it's possible, so we'll have to see. Everything looks good. I checked all the connections for it. All that stuff looks good. So I'm not sure what's going on. I guess we'll have to do an alternator test and kind of find out. But the other issue is it's still getting hot. So it was still, even with both fans running just nonstop, it still got up to about 210 right as I was pulling in. So luckily I was able to shut it down and stuff, and it's fine. But so anyway, I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'm going to try to check the overflow again, kind of check the radiator too, see if it's full, and just see if we can get some more, maybe there's just some more air bubbles trapped in there, I'm hoping. So our radiator is freaking huge. I mean, if you look at this radiator, this thing's a freaking monster. So it should have zero problems cooling down this LS. I mean, it's probably twice the size of your average, probably stock 5.3 truck motor radiator, right? So there's got to just be some air trapped. I don't know whether it's in here. The other good thing to be really happy about is there's no more leaks. So before I kept having issues with little dribbles here and there, and so far it seems to be good. Nothing's leaking out, nothing exploded. Last year we also had issues with the cap. We didn't have a high enough pressure cap, so I ended up putting this 20 PSI cap on. That seems to be holding just fine too. So seems like we're making progress, but man, I don't think we're going to make it to that show, since I'm going to have to wait for this to cool enough that I can get the cap off and then put some fluid in. But it's already almost 2 o'clock here on Saturday, so I think the show ends about 4. So I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll run inside for a few, grab a bite to eat, and then try to come back out, see if we can't play with it a little bit, and see if we can make it to the show. Even if it doesn't overheat, my main concern now too is where's the battery at, right? Like, it was staying about 12.3 or something like that, but I don't want to get to the show and then it doesn't start. I mean, it's not like I couldn't have my wife's going to take the Jeep, so I could have her give us a jump, but we do got to figure out what the heck's going on. I mean, if it's as simple as just unbolting the alternator and go buy a new $100 alternator, that's no big deal. So we'll see. All right, guys, so here's where we're at for today. So I had the thing back here. I ended up burping the radiator fluid one more time, and then I took it for a quick drive again. Now this time what was interesting is it still got up to about 210, 212, and it would kind of stay between 208 and like 212. So I mean, I didn't put a lot of miles on it. I basically just went up and down my driveway a bunch of times, figuring that way if I break down, at least I'm still by my house or still in my driveway. But that's progress. I'm not even sure. I'm going to do some research to kind of figure out where these engines are supposed to operate at. So, being a 2016 engine, 210 might be normal. I'm not sure what kind of thermostat they put in these things or whatever. But I'm going to try to burp it one more time, maybe tonight or tomorrow. So that seems like that'll be okay. The good news is there's still no leaks anywhere. So that's awesome. Making good progress on that. The alternator is still not working. But one thing that happened that was interesting is when I did get out on the road to kind of make some turnarounds, I floored it a few times. One of those times I did see it shoot up from about 12.2 volts. It did shoot up to 13.5, 14.5 volts. So that was kind of interesting. So it seems like it's intermittently working, the alternator. So I think that's, sign that it's bad. So for some reason it's not, help me understand why a motor with like 13,000 miles has a bad alternator, right? But really weird. But anyway, I looked online. Looks like there may be 150, 200 bucks for a new alternator. So I'll go ahead and probably order one just from like the local auto parts store, and then maybe throw it in on Monday. So hopefully by the middle of the week next week, we can actually get out and drive this thing, especially after I burp the cooling system a couple more times and see what happens. So it's frustrating, but hey, we're making progress. When you have custom stuff like this is what it takes, right? It's a pain in the butt. So anyway, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Feel free to leave me a comment if you got any helpful tips. Let me know. Like, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.